necessarily doing this part, just make sure that your feet are a little bit apart, that your legs, that your hands are a bit away from your body. And from there, just take deep breath. And really from here, you want to breathe from the belly. You want to inhale from your nose and exhale from your mouth. Because inhaling and exhaling from your nose is just going to be relaxing you too much, and doing the whole breathing process through your mouth is just not necessarily a good habit. You should only do it when it's really necessary, when you're sick, stuff like that. So the best performing way to breathe is really inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And we won't go into too much depth today about breathing, so I won't necessarily go into the full square principles that military people use. Really go at your own pace. If you have already a bit of awareness of breath work, you can play a little bit with keeping the breath inside and then keeping yourself empty rather than simply inhaling and exhaling. But again, if you don't know any breath work, just focus on getting as much air as possible in your belly. You really need to feel your belly going up. It's okay, we're all going to look pregnant today. It's all right, it doesn't matter. And then you just exhale as long as you can. From there, the first thing I will ask you to do is to contract your coccyx. So basically, it's going to make it look like a little bit like you're pushing your pelvic to the ceiling. It shouldn't be so intense that your butt is lifting off the ground or that you feel like your feet are having too much pressure on them, but it's really to just make sure that your lumbar arch is not actually in arc, like that you don't have that sort of curve in your lower back. You want your lower back to be touching the ground. So just work on contracting that. Try to keep everything else loose as much as possible. And again, just keep breathing. And throughout the whole time, the more we're going to start contracting certain part of your body, you might notice that you thought that at the beginning you were equal in your body, so that your feet were at the same distance, for an example, your hips, or that your hands were as far apart from your body on both sides, equal. So if you see that you have some sort of diversion, that actually maybe, for example, your left arm is closer to your body than your right arm, just try to put them equal. Again, you shouldn't have to look at your body for it, just respect how you feel, because sometimes it's just that one side is stronger than the other, sometimes it's just that you have a health issue on one side more than the other, so your body is just naturally adjusting. So again, just respect these feelings. From there, while still contracting your lumbar arch, now we're going to go also to the thoracic arch, which is basically your shoulder, your ribs. So again, it's the same principle. You want to get to a point where you feel like your upper body, your upper back is touching the ground fully. So there, you might feel like you need to adjust your shoulder mostly. At this point, you should really feel like your whole back is touching the ground fully. Respect how much you need to contract your body, but again, if you see that you start feeling too much tension, like if you feel like your hands maybe are not necessarily touching the ground, exactly, try to relax them. We're not to a point yet where you're supposed to be contracting your limbs so much that they're lifting from the ground. Keeping that in mind, the last thing we're going to do is the cervical arch. So for this one, it's really important. Your head is still supposed to be touching the ground. So no lifting of the head yet. You just want to bring yourself in a more protective position, if I can say, a more natural position by simply bringing your chin slightly down. So a bit more towards your chest, but again, you shouldn't feel pressure on your trachea. Your head shouldn't be lifting. It's just that you're imagining that you have some sort of anchor on your skull, on the top of your head, and you would just want a straight line to get, either if you have a wall behind you or whatever, it's as if the crown of your head is being kind of pulled by that wall that is behind you. So automatically, it will just again bring your chin a little bit closer to your chest. So this is the best way to kind of practice having as much as possible a really, really straight spine. And I started working on, at an office, doing security management like 3 years ago, and my body, I've never been so broken in my life. Not even when I was training 6 days a week for 3 hours, being punched by a guy 3 times my size. And this just makes sure that my body really resets to what should be the best position possible for my spine. From there, we're going to challenge that position a little bit. So the first thing I would want you to do is to lift your head a little bit, but not too much. It literally should be like 2-3 inches. And it shouldn't be lifting in a way that when you lift, your chin is going more towards your chest. It really should be as if your face wanted to go and touch the ceiling. So start doing it right away. And yes, you're going to see it will be fast. Your neck is going to start shaking. That's the whole point. Try to keep it as much as you can. Your shoulder at this point should still be touching the ground. It shouldn't be lifting. And it's really important, think about your arches. Your arches should still be contracted. Your back should be fully on the ground. Your chin should be tucked under a little bit towards your chest, and it will help you. It really will help you. If it's just your chin that's going to the ceiling, you will kill yourself much quicker. From there, you keep the same thing. The only difference now is that you're also lifting your arms from the ground. Same principle. You don't want just your hand to go touch the ceiling. It's your arm equally lifts up. As much as possible, you want to keep your omoplata on the ground because again, we want to work on the arches. At this point, if it wasn't already the case, you might start your lower back arching. This is literally what we're working on. We want to lose that because whenever you're going to be challenged, either by fear, by pressure, by whatever, the worst thing you can do to your body, especially if you're on the ground, especially if someone is on top of you, is to arch your back. This looks simple, this looks easy. As you may have noticed, it isn't. So again, the head should be up, the arms should be up. From there, guess what is the last thing? The legs. Once more, it's not the feet that are trying to go to the ceiling, it's the whole leg. So your butt should be obviously fully to the ground, but ideally, you should want your thighs to not be, at least halfway, not be touching the ground anymore. Again, this is full on, guys, this is full on, this is supposed to be painful, this is supposed to not be nice. Keep breathing, keep contracting. If you see that your arch are really challenged, just take a second to put everything back to the ground slowly, but then come back up. So just do that pause to do the contraction again and pull it back up right away, right away. That's it, guys. Keep going, keep going. I know it's hard, but one day if you do that every day just for 5 minutes, it's gonna feel great in 1 year. Slowly now, super slowly, bring everything back down as equally as possible. Slowly, slowly, slowly. And then again, once your back's fully to the ground, make sure that still your arches are engaged. So if you feel you've worked out, you feel that arch in your lower back, just go through the same process. Focus on your lumbar arch, focus on your thoracic arch, and focus on your cervical arch. And from then, last thing again, try to be as equal as possible in your body. And now that we've challenged that position, you might feel your injury even more. So again, the goal here is not to be in perfect position, it's just listen to your body, listen to what it's telling you. And it doesn't matter if it's not actually equal, it's just you need to feel what is right for you. So just breathe from there. Again, focus on the belly. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth.